All right, guys, how are you today? Big Mike back at you. And in this video, we're going to talk about my surgery and how it went. I am 12 days post-op. I went in December 19th, and today is December 31st, New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's Eve to everybody, and I hope you have a great New Year's Eve celebration, New Year's Day, and a great start to 2020. So let's talk about my surgery. First thing I want to say, it's a major surgery. Don't go into it thinking you're just going to hop in and hop out. But I will say it was a great surgery. The pain wasn't what I thought it was. I was probably off pain meds by the third day. I went in on Thursday afternoon. I was probably supposed to go home Friday, Saturday at the latest. My doctor said, which I will tell you guys, if you feel you need an extra day after surgery in the hospital, take it. Don't rush it. Don't be in a rush to go home. If you feel insecure about yourself or how you're feeling, just take the extra day and stay in the hospital. Unfortunately, I stayed in until Christmas Eve. And so my surgery went a little bit complicated. The doctor got in and found out that I had a really enlarged prostate, and it was kind of pushing into the liver a little bit, and he was surprised that I didn't have any urinary malfunctions or any other side effects. So the 3-hour surgery became a 6-hour surgery. That put me under anesthesia a lot longer. Coming out of the surgery, the first day I was great, and I developed an ileus going into the second day. I decided to stay another day just to feel comfortable about myself. And the nurse recommended that I stay another day because she could tell I wasn't too confident. And that night I got sick. What is an ileus? An ileus is where your lower bowels or your intestines don't wake up because you've been under anesthesia for quite some time. So what happened was they took me off my IVs, started putting me on a soft diet. And when the food went down, it stopped towards the lower bowels, and then everything started to come back up. The bile that my body uses to digest food, or our bodies, started to stay within the upper part of my stomach, wouldn't go any further than that, and I became very sick for about 2 days. A lot of vomiting, this, that, and the other. Had to have a tube down my throat to suck up all the food and the bile. And basically it was because my lower intestines had not awakened up yet from the anesthesia. So that put me in the hospital for a total of 5 days. So what I learned from that is, and I want you guys to understand, that every surgery is different. This is a pretty simple surgery, but it is a major surgery. So never take surgery for granted. Never think you're just going to get in and get out, because something could always happen. And that's the reality of having any kind of major surgery. So I had to deal with that. And upon dealing with that, 5 days later, I was out of the hospital and I was feeling a lot better. So let's talk about leaving the hospital and getting home. Wow. Okay. You know, you had that thing called the catheter. Catheter wasn't as bad as I thought. I was really scared to have a catheter. I never had a catheter before. You know, that particular hole was exit only. The idea of something being in it or something of alien descent in it made me feel kind of apprehensive about the whole procedure. But coming out of surgery and seeing how it worked and how it really wasn't bothersome, you know, I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. I had a little issue with my catheter at the hospital as well as coming home. When I was doing the laps before coming home, I had some leakage. Some catheters are not 100% leak proof. So when I felt that there was times that I had the urge to go and I was going, it felt like it kind of overflowed around the tube within the catheter. So they said, long as 98% or 95% of that urine goes within the catheter bag and some comes out, that's okay. Not everybody's going to have a perfectly sealed, perfectly fit catheter in their penis, unfortunately. So I had to deal with the whole little urine all over me, which drove me nuts sometime, constantly wiping myself down. and stuff like that. Let's talk about leaving the hospital. One big thing is when you're recovering is having to expel gas. And that's another sign of your bowels waking up and your intestines. So it is very important to get up and walk after your surgery to kind of wake that body up, get the insides moving, get those bowels moving so you can expel gas, which will also bring you a lot of relief because you're going to be bloated. You know, they blow up your stomach and that feeling is just going to be, it's just a crazy feeling. So when you pass that nice, long, winded gas, man, you're going to celebrate. You're going to be like, yes. So that's a big thing. So the catheter, coming home, dealing with the catheter. Incontinence is a big thing for me right now. I'm getting better with it. It's 12 days out. The whole changing pads. You don't realize how much that prostate, that extra muscle helped you contain urine. Just standing, bending over, doing certain things, you're feeling leakage. You know, just laughing, you're feeling leakage. The minor things that you're so used to doing in life now come with leakage in your rehabilitation process of working and building your continence back. Excuse me. So that is a pain, to be honest with you, for me. Being a man, you know, you're having your stuff leaking all over you. You know, you're constantly wiping yourself. It's no fun, constantly changing the pad. And I sympathize with women now for sure, especially my wife, my daughter. I'm like, hey, I get it now. It is the most, just that, thing. And so dealing with that right now, I'm getting better. I use some pads, shields during the day. I wear like a Depend kind of underwear brief at night. My first night sleeping in the bed without the catheter was an experience. I never got up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom prior to the surgery. Now I get up 2 or 3 times a night to go to the restroom just off instinct. It's just amazing how that works. It's kind of a pain because you're trying to get yourself out of bed, and that exertion there causes leakage. And once that leakage begins to move, you're wanting to go to the bathroom right away. So you're trying to hold that leakage while you're getting up and then getting yourself to the restroom before you just go all over yourself. So the first night was an experience. With each night, it gets better. I could get out of bed. You know, doing those Kegels are a big part of that. Getting that strength back. So I'm getting out of bed now. Last night was a better night. But it's rough, man. It's rough. How can I explain it? You feel like a kid. You feel like you're a kid wearing a diaper. You're learning how to potty train again. So you definitely have to be prepared for that up here. And have a great support system. That's all I can say about that. But it gets better with time. The first couple days I was really irritated and agitated by it. And then now, especially after last night and coming in today, my continence is getting better. Knowing the signs when I got to go, how soon should I go after I drink something. I try not to drink a lot of liquids when I leave the house, just because, you know, just walking and exercising, going in and out of the store, you know, moving around puts pressure on your bladder, and you want to make sure you're in control, you know, when you're out there in public. What else? Incontinence is a big thing right now, where I'm at. One more thing I was thinking about. The removal of the catheter. The removal of the catheter is not bad if you're worried about that. Deep breath, pulling right out, and then you're on the diaper journey after that, or the pad journey. So that's when your real workout begins, when that catheter comes out and you realize that, hey, you have to really do those Kegels and focus on those exercises and try to get that urine under control as best you can. I know when they took the catheter out, they wanted me to urinate by 3 o'clock. I think I went that morning. They told me by 3 o'clock if I hadn't urinated, I had to come back and they may have to put the catheter in. So when I left that office, man, I was guggling water because I was not trying to have a catheter reinserted while I was awake. I was not trying to deal with that. So thank God for that. That worked out. I made sure I drank plenty of water, plenty of liquids. And then you had that battle of when to go to the restroom, timing it, constant pad change in those first 2 days. Now pad changing is not as frequent. I'm kind of gauging when I have to go. Other than that, that's it. I'm already at 10 minutes on this video. I'm going to kind of cut it short real quick, but I just wanted to talk about where I was at as far as my journey right now. I might make another one and just talk about mental things that I've been dealing with that you'll probably deal with. And but that's it. So we're on the incontinence phase, trying to get that under control, doing Kegel exercises, staying focused, staying mentally strong, having a great support group around you. And just remember, it is a patient process of healing. And I'm having to learn that myself. It takes a lot of patience. You just want to get up and go right where you left off. And man, physically, you got to give your body a chance to just get its stuff back, its mojo back. And then mentally, you want to be where you're at before, but you realize that things aren't clicking like they used to. But that's going to go into my next video. But I just wanted to say, great support group around you. Keep those loved ones around you, those close friends. Talk to people, call people, reach out to others that have been through this process before. Send a message, leave a comment, but you're not alone. God is awesome. God has brought me this far, in which with each day, God makes it better. God bless you all. I'll be praying for you. Happy New Year. Big things coming in 2020. God is love. Peace.